the lightning strike, you're going to hear the thunderclap. And it was so strong and so loud that it shook the house. So once again, audio alert, this is going to be very loud in 3, 2.
Watching the video just made me jump a little bit, so yeah, I could only imagine actually seeing it live. Yo, what is up my good people, and welcome back for a brand new video. Alright, so in this video we're going to be watching some of the most bizarre and creepiest TikToks I could find today.
In Atlanta right now, you have something called Spellman College. That's John D. Rockefeller's wife. Her last name is Spellman. Her last name is Spellman.
That's the man's wife?
That's his wife.
Look at Spellman down south.
Man, Google it right now. Google who spell. Who.
Go look this up real quick.
Mrs. Laura Spellman Rockefeller.
Ooh, let's not talk about Morehouse. Look, you think it goes back to somebody that's black? They don't.
What?
Just like you can trace back all the presidents to come from one entity, come from one bloodline, you can do the same thing with every medical college. Now, within the last 20 years, there's a bunch of new medical colleges that came up outside of that, which still follow the curriculum, but don't have their name. But when you start studying these names, man, they go back to John D. Rockefeller family, man. That's why if you go and you teach against them, you can get locked up and persecuted because he sits at the head of the federal directors in the federal Supreme Court. John D. Rockefeller, man, he controlled the damn world, man. Him and the Carnegies.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like that's just the tip of the iceberg. But once you open your eyes, that's when you'll start to question everything. And that's when you start to realize that it's all a part of a big plan.
This has to be one of the scariest videos I've ever seen. No ghosts, no spirits. Real life. A young female real estate photographer was taking photos for her job one day. She happened to be in an occupied house. The resident began following her around. She says this wasn't unusual, so she didn't think anything of it, until she started noticing multiple locks on certain doors, and even a camera pointed toward one of these doors. When she goes upstairs, a man comes out of one of the rooms. What happens next is straight out of a horror film. You have to see the video for yourself.
Okay, so I took pictures of this house, and this guy was following me around like the whole time, which isn't unusual, but he was a little bit strange, and there was like 6 people living in this house, and it's a hoarder house. But I also noticed they have like 3 locks on the door, and then down here they have locks, and then going up here they have a camera and it's facing this door. Anyway, a roommate comes out of this door and he asks them if he should lock the door and kidnap me. And I said, immediately, people know where I am. And then he laughed and said, no one would ever hear from you again. Bro, I did not even finish this house. I immediately left. I was like, nope, dipped the out. You can see me right there. Hello. But yeah, pretty sure I maybe almost got kidnapped, but I don't really know.
If you're a woman and you've ever had any close calls like this, let me know in the comments below. We need to spread awareness that things like this really happen.
I mean, I hope she at least called the authorities because, yeah, that don't seem right to me. I mean, who really knows what goes down in that creepy looking apartment, especially after that comment that guy said.
Surviving the industry, there are still people to this day that exist that are very, very powerful, but are just very controlling. It shouldn't be record companies making the majority of things and then the artists get like the smallest percentage. There are a lot of really bad people, a lot of people that have been really screwed over, like from the very beginning of I guess, rock and roll, whatever you want to call it. I'm being so honest that it is what it is, and people are going to be like, okay, calm down.
Yeah, record labels definitely take advantage of their artists, and especially if you're a woman. I mean, you can obviously see some of the control that they have over these female artists that you hear on the radio today.
There was an obsession in the ancient world over bloodlines. Egyptians in the Book of the Dead would be obsessed with this idea of a being that was a ruler that they thought was like a descendant of the gods, that they would go through processes to try to bring that soul back in after it died to rule again. And I don't want this to come across as being some kind of a racial or superior thing. They had the opinion that there were gifts within those bloodlines that connected to these ancient Anunnaki Anunnaki gods of Sumer. They believed that the kings and rulers there were descendants of them. Some of the weird things we have evidence to support that, though, is that some of the lengths of reigns is really weird. That some of them ruled for like 1,000 years.
Yeah, I believe we all know by now how it's not a good idea to try to bring anything back from the dead. Anything that's already dead, yeah, just let it rest in peace. You know what I'm saying?
3 Cents, you are undergoing a spiritual awakening. A spiritual awakening is when you start understanding that you are not your human body, that in fact you're a spirit experiencing this human life, and your nature is eternal, so this is what it looks like. Number 1, do you often question the nature of everything? This can look like questioning the government, God, where we come from, what you're here to do, basically an existential crisis. Number 2, change of personality. When you spiritually awaken, you tend to no longer be interested in a lot of the things that you wear, and that's due to your change of vibration and awareness levels. Lots of my clients, and myself included, lost their sense of identity due to that, which can make you feel lost because you no longer know who you are. And this also affects friendships because you stop resonating with a lot of them. Number 3, do you have or are developing sensory issues? This is a hypersensitivity to the spirit realm. This can be feeling energies around you, sound becomes louder than usual, touch becomes more intense, you can maybe hear that high frequency pitch in your ears sometimes, or energies around you overall. When my clients and I learned how to manage this hypersensitivity, it became a gift that we can use in our daily life, so watch out for that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that when you have a spiritual awakening, you'll definitely know it, or you'll definitely start to see the signs of it, that's for sure. But yeah, everything that she just said right here, I pretty much agree with, so...
You can buy YouTube ads. You know the things on YouTube when you can skip them after 5 seconds? You can buy those and advertise your album, right? Anytime one of those reaches 5 seconds, it counts as a stream. So it's really easy to manipulate those.
Yeah, they just sent that robot straight into the Matrix. Got this robot over here not knowing what to do. I don't believe that those are Apple Vision Pros either. They look like just basic ski goggles if you ask me.
So this is something strange that happened in the Dominican Republic just recently. A group of people were praying and out of nowhere, a group of glowing white creatures started to appear. Notice how these creatures are glowing so bright? Some people are actually claiming that this could be angels, but as they appear, they disappear very quickly, according to the villagers there. Let's watch the video and let me know what you guys think. It seems like there were about 100 of them, so many of them, and everybody was really shocked to see them. Let's watch the video.
Yeah, I don't know why, but this just reminded me of that scene from Signs when the alien like walked across at the birthday party. If any of you guys have seen that movie, then you know exactly what scene I'm talking about.
No one has ever been to space because space is not real. It's true. There's a new theory that claims we are not able to go to space because we live in a dome and that there is a transparent barrier stopping us from leaving our enclosed world. Flat earthers say that there is no space above the Earth and that the area above the world is just water. This theory gets even crazier, though. The Bible actually confirms this and says that there is a firmament that separates the earth from the waters above. While many people say this was misinterpreted, the U.S. government disagrees. In 1962, the military sent a nuclear missile into the sky, claiming it was to test the atmosphere's reaction. However, many conspiracy theorists say this was for the government to see if they could break the barrier. What's really crazy is that the government named this attempt as Operation Fishbowl. Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah, this isn't a new theory, but yeah, for all those out there that don't know anything about Operation Fishbowl, you should go look into it because it's pretty interesting stuff if you ask me.
The Apple car is real, and yes, this is actually happening. And while everybody thinks this is a joke, it's said to be the final product that Tim Cook wants to make before he retires as Apple CEO. And while initially Apple had some pretty crazy ideas and designs for this car, recently they've toned things down. First up, this thing is going to be 100% electric because it's Apple, they care about trees, of course this is the case. Second though, and more surprising, the autonomous driving features that were supposed to make this the next big thing, those have been cut down quite a bit to basically be like Tesla Autopilot. And at one point there was said to not even be a steering wheel or pedals in this, but yeah, those ideas are out the door. Oh, and be ready for this to be pretty expensive because the current rumors say it's going to be over $100,000, which for a car is pretty high end, but for Apple, who's surprised? And the software in here will actually be pretty familiar. Everybody's like, why did CarPlay exist in the first place? Why do you think Apple was playing with car stuff when CarPlay came out many years ago? And I was most shocked to learn when this is releasing. It's 4 years away, which in real time is long, but in car time, that is really not that far away at all. 2028, the Apple car will be on streets, which is absolutely wild to think about.
I remember first hearing about the Apple Smart Car like years ago. Yeah, I don't really see this actually happening by 2028, if it actually even happens at all.
The music business is only designed to get as many people to go away from God as possible. So what happens is the devil needs workers. And by workers, he needs people who have influence, who can mislead or misguide people away from the light into the darkness. So this is why the artist is powerful. So the artist is the mouthpiece, okay? The artist is the mouthpiece between the devil and the fan. And the artist's job is to get you to throw up these weird signs. What are you doing this for? This is the Baphomet. I don't this. So don't think I'm throwing this up because I don't this. I'm just showing you when you see these signs, when you see the checkerboards, when you hear them talking about demon time and drill and all, even the actual beat and the BPM, it's all 808 drums. This is all low vibration. So what happens is the artist is only the tool used to push the message of the devil.
Yeah, at this point, all artists are suspect. But yeah, you got to remember that Lucifer once used to be the angel of music. So take all that in consideration. And once you do that, that's when you will finally start to connect the dots. What is going on here? Did this man just buy like a one-way ticket to Mars or something?
Are Cybertrucks actually rusting? Yeah, they are. And you're not going to believe what Tesla has to say about it. So owners are posting images of rusted and corroded spots on their Cybertruck. And this is after only days of ownership. This is simply because the stainless steel body of the Cybertruck has no clear coat. So while it might be bulletproof, there's nothing on the stainless steel to protect it from corrosive chemicals or just water. You can actually find stuff about this in the Cybertruck's owner's manual. Tesla's basically saying that you have to remove any kind of materials that are left on the stainless steel exoskeleton, and if you wash it, you have to dry it immediately or it could start to rust. And you can see right there, that blue note, Tesla is basically saying to expect your stainless steel exoskeleton to start to change color and rust over time. This truck was made to be tough and rugged, but somehow it's not resistant to rust. So it looks like the Cyber boat might be out of the question. I really wanted a Cybertruck, but the longer this thing is out, the more bad news comes out about it. What do you guys think? Is this going to stop you from buying one?
All that money that they charge you for a Cybertruck and it doesn't even come with a clear coat. Yeah, I got a feeling that the Cybertruck will eventually be a huge fumble for Tesla, but then again, I could be wrong.
The most dangerous book in the world, written by a human under the inspiration of demons. Its original copies were freakishly covered in human skin, the Necronomicon or Al-Azif. It's a book about black magic and civilizations from millions of years ago that lived on Earth before humans. These were demonic civilizations like jinns, and this book tells you about it. The book will guide you on how to communicate with these creatures, but only through black magic. All copies of this book have been completely burnt. Just one copy of this book left in the Vatican Library. The author, the most reviled Yemeni in history, Abdullah al-Hazred. He wrote what is now considered the most dangerous book in the world by being alone in the empty quarter desert for 10 years. He was punished in the most terrifying way. It's said that he was fighting with a weird creature, attacked Abdel al-Hazred, dismembered him, and then took the rest with it.
Yeah, I didn't know that this was a real book. I was just under the impression that they just created it for the Evil Dead movies. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me that they have it hidden at the Vatican out of all places, you know.
Do you know why casinos avoid putting mirrors on their walls? It's because they don't want you to feel guilty and leave after catching a glimpse of yourself gambling. And the bathrooms at Disney have one mirror towards the exit but none above the sinks to discourage us from holding up the line by taking too long to fix ourselves up in front of them. Another way that businesses use mirrors to alter our behavior is by having our reflections displayed at the screens in the self-checkout stations, because we're less likely to shoplift if we're seeing our own reflections. The mirrors in fitting rooms will often be a lot thinner than usual, and they'll be slightly tilted away from us because it makes us appear thinner and taller, which drives sales. Bars use mirrors to make it appear like there are more bottles than there actually is, and to allow customers to observe people without directly staring at them, which, given the alternative, is way better for business. Most elevators in high-rise buildings have mirrors because the goal is to distract you from perceiving the time you spent waiting inside and to create the illusion of a larger space so it isn't as claustrophobic. Also, some convenience stores will place a mirror on the ceiling, and it's usually above an area that's stocked with products that get stolen all the time, so they basically just use it to monitor that area a little bit more closely.
Yeah, the mirrors in the fitting rooms always have the most terrible lighting. And yeah, the self-checkout mirrors I thought were just to remind you that you're being watched.
One of the main things a lot of people bring up whenever they talk about Pennywise is the fact that if you quote-unquote bully him, he's gonna die, when that's not what happened at all. The kids, or the adults in this movie, weren't scared of his ass anymore, so all of his powers were pretty much useless because, you know, them bitches are based off of fear. Now, before I get into how powerful Pennywise actually is, it's very important for me to let you guys know that Pennywise the Dancing Clown isn't really a dancing clown. Yeah, this quote-unquote clown is actually a being that's older than the universe itself, and is described to be a hairy, endless crawling creature that's made up of orange lights. Now, you guys already know about them lights, okay? Them bitches are lethal. If you decide to stare into them bitches, you're done for, you're gone.
You're a sloppy bitch! Yeah, that's right! Let's dance! Yippee-ki-yay, mother...
Now, when it comes to how strong this dude actually is, it's safe to say he's like the fucking Darth Vader of horror movies, or the tribal chief of horror movies, because it's fucking insane.
What do you mean by that?
Bro, not only is he a shapeshifter that can transform into your wildest fears, but he can read and manipulate your mind, he can invade your dreams, he can also manipulate space and time itself, he can teleport, he's fast as fuck. Bro, this dude is the total package, bro.
Yeah, technically I believe Pennywise isn't that strong when he's in his clown form. But yeah, I believe that he takes on whatever weakness from whatever form he is at the moment. For an example, if he was a werewolf, then a silver bullet would hurt him. Yeah, then again, I could be wrong. I never read the books. I just watched the movies.
What I heard was you bought AIDS medicine and raised the price by 5,000%.
That's all true.
That's fact.
Yeah.
Okay, so that sucks.
I
You agree that does?
No, I don't.
Martin, your rebuttal?
If you had a comedy manager who said, you're wonderful, your punchlines are fantastic, you work really hard, we're going to sell tickets for 33 cents, and it's going to be great. We're going to make a lot of money together.
Does going to the show save people's
Shane,
lives?
I don't think it makes a difference. In fact, I would say that it's even more important.
Hold on, let me just say this. Can I make this point? Laughter is the best medicine.
It turns out your T cells won't respond to laughter. But
yeah, Martin Shkreli, however you say his last name, is the definition of a scumbag, if you ask me. And I don't agree with Shane Gillis on a lot of things he says, but I definitely can agree with him on this. Overcharging someone for medicine that they need to save their lives, yeah, that does suck pretty bad.
I can't even explain how many people I had nothing in common with except drinking. And I didn't realize if we take away these drinks, we're gonna all look at each other and say, what the f are we doing?
I didn't get no phone calls. I haven't heard from him. He hasn't wrote me or anything. He just showed up at my door. Let's go skating. Knocked, I'm here. He just came out here to get healthy. He just said it the other day before you guys got here. He's the booze don't help me out. The people back at home don't help me out. The only thing that keeps me good is on the skateboard.
If you're someone that suffers with alcohol addiction, I mean, I fully support you finding a better alternative rather than, you know, the bottle. Growing up as a child, I used to love watching Viva La Bam. I feel like that was just like peak MTV, if you ask me.
Hey, what's up, guys? What you see behind me here is an image of the Earth-facing side of the sun. That dark region you see up there is known as the sunspot, and it's turning towards the Earth right now as I do this video. Let's go in and take a closer look. Here's what that same region looks like up close. 10 Earths could fit in that sunspot. 10! And it's turning towards the Earth, so we can see an increase in solar storms here in the next week, because this is going to be facing the Earth for at least a week. This is very large. It could produce an X-class solar flare that would be Earth-directed. It could cause radio blackouts in the higher latitudes of planet Earth. This is a very large sunspot that, once again, is turning towards the Earth right now as I do this video.
Yeah, why does that look like the Eye of Sauron, if you ask me? I don't know if I'm saying it right, but yeah.
Yeah, we're important, and you're supposed to say it's all going to be all right, and you're supposed to say that, you know, whatever you dream can come true, and you're supposed to say all those things. I do believe in manifestation, power of that kind of stuff, but I don't believe that any of it matters. You know, this mattering is to me a human construct. Born out of a need, the same need as you have to have, you know, deities and things like that. I mean, I believe in an energy of God, an energy of, you know, everything is divine. You know, there's just not, there's no thing that isn't divine. Everything is divine, and I'm that. I'm not the body. I'm you guys, and I'm this thing, and I'm this thing, and I'm the cameras, and it doesn't matter to me what's happening on them. Sometimes I still have the groove cut in me that, you know, wants my hair to look nice.
Right.
It's an ancient thing. Yeah. You know, there's still ego there, but I don't, I'm finding that ultimately the freedom from it is something people are kind of hungry for in a way. Right. They're like, I don't want to be me either.
Right.
You know, and I go, well, great, because you never have been.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get another Jim Carrey for a while, unfortunately. This man definitely has a mind that's one of a kind. But yeah, if he started a podcast and was talking about this kind of stuff right here, I feel like I 100% would watch it. Alright, my good people, that's going to be a wrap for this one. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this content, and if you did, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And as always, but make sure to not be a stranger and let me know all your thoughts about this one down there in that comment section.